All right, good morning. This is my attempt to demystify this yoke. So personally, I've become a really big fan of the yoke for three big reasons. The first reason is it seems to be much simpler in regards to general driving, and I know that sounds very fanboyish, but at this point for me it has been, specifically because I get to operate the car with one hand in a controlled fashion. I feel like I'm operating with a video game controller, right? So I think that's the general theme of this video. It feels like I'm using a video game controller. Why? Because everything is in my hands. I'm able to control everything with one hand, and that's always been the dream of general driving. Okay, I think, just thinking through this, the first day of ownership I had a hard time using the yoke because I think you know, being used to a circular form factor had a significant effect in my understanding of operating this vehicle. After that day it disappeared. Why? Because again, this is the optimal one hand, or it feels like the optimal one hand scenario. I'll demonstrate it as soon as this light turns green, what I mean by that, right? So as you can see, this is me with two hands with the yoke. To make a U-turn, literally I just use one hand and apply force and then twisting around like that, right? I think the common scenario you see people just demonstrated online is they do the, right, that should become a new dance, but the arm crossing thing. But that just, I would say, get out of your mind the notion of handing over, right, the steering wheel or whatever structure you're using. It should be a basic one hand motion. All right, the second thing I like about the yoke is I can control everything within one setting, right? So this is one interface for general driving, which is awesome. I think the original paradigm that we are all used to is having stalks and doing that, but as you can see, my fingers are accessible to all the controls. Again, the general theme being it's almost like a video game controller. So the cool things for me, at least when it comes to changing lanes, is I have a bump here to help me delineate between my left indicator and right indicator. So like now I want to switch lanes, I want to go to my left lane, so I know it's below. I don't even need to look, I just go below the bump to change lanes. Obviously when it comes to the functionality, there's two major interactions, right? The first is just a slight tap. If you do a slight tap, the lights flash once. If you hold down, it remains on, and then you have to tap to end. I've seen messaging where a lot of people say things like, hey, you know, I'm used to the three indicator design where I click it once and it indicates for three blinks and then ends, right? I would tell you I prefer this better because I'm in complete control. It's just something to get used to, just like any other thing. And like I said, the bump that exists here helps me delineate between left indicator, which is the bottom, and up, which is the right indicator. So I love that. The third major thing I love about the yoke is activating autopilot, right? So I'm a previous Tesla owner. I own the Model 3, and I've driven Model S's in the past before. I think that this yoke interface is far superior to what you see in the older vehicles, right? Specifically because at least on the autopilot side, I don't need to find a stalk to click once or twice, right? So my Model 3 I had to down click the stalk once. Here I literally just press the button once and autopilot and auto steer is automatically activated, and everything just works. And you know, obviously Elon and them, they talk about the paradigm of just being able to just get in the car and have it take you to your destination and guess where you're going. I think we're headed there, and I think this yoke helps us out with that. Literally, as I'm driving, if I want to activate autopilot, I just press this once. Now, some people like traffic aware cruise control, where you just essentially follow the vehicle and you control. That's an option. I can go in and change the settings and make it the double click option. right? So meaning I give the option of traffic aware cruise control, but in the age of autopilot, like, why do I need traffic aware cruise control when the vehicle has demonstrated efficacy in regards to being able to stay in the lane? And like I said, I don't think it's not perfect, but it's good enough for the 95% scenario, which is general driving. So meaning, like, in the current paradigm or in the current situation I'm in, it's a very tight space. Like, I just activated it and it kept me in the lane. Now I can guarantee that on the other side it's going to be friction. I know that, being a user, but just having that level of functionality and just clicking it once, it works. I rarely use my horn, so I don't really care. In fact, I make it make a fart noise just in case I get angry. I would laugh. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now. Ready? And the car farted. That's amazing. In fact, I'm laughing in my soul, but it's not coming out, so it's okay. And I bet you everyone around me is laughing too. But yeah, so like, it just feels like the future, and I'm okay with it. And again, to close out, my final theme is, I am a humongous fan of how, you know, Tesla as a company has transitioned driving to almost like a video game experience, right? It feels like I'm literally holding one large video game controller as I'm driving. If I want traffic aware cruise control, I select it when it detects a lane, so not all the time, but I select it and then it just works. If I want to change lanes, everything is here. I don't have to fumble around with buttons, right? I have a single interface that I interact with as a driver, which again is far superior than whatever we had in the past. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post it. I'll make sure to answer, and look out for future videos. Thank you. Bye.